Hello guys and girls, boom, welcome back, another history lesson, yeah! Righty ho, let's see what I've learned. Done a little bit of homework for you. We're going to try and link our Royal Naval Centenary and our Sherlock Holmes. Okay, so I'll get straight into it and show you the coins first. And the first one we have, we'll start with the obverse, and that is the fifth portrait of Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II by Jodie Clark. Here we are, not bad condition. Haven't wiped this one off, but could do with a little wipe by the look of it. There we are. And then we have a lovely inscription around the edge. Hopefully you can see this. I'll wind it round slowly. And it says, "The sure shield of Britain." Okay, there we are. And then we go on to the reverse of the coin. Now the reverse of the coin was designed by David Rowlands, and apparently it's based on HMS Royal Oak. Okay, so it's not actually any particular ship, but it's based on the Royal Oak. There we are. Now there's a little bit of information about this coin, apart from most people are looking for the flag error, which, if I just get my pointer, is on the mast at the top there. I haven't seen one, but apparently there are a few about. Okay, there we are. And the other useful piece of information to know about this is that apparently there are some about with the IRB fourth portrait, that's Ian Rank Broadley's portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the front. And there are about 100 of these coins released at the HMS Belfast Visitors Centre in the gift shop, and it was given as change in the gift shop, or they were given as change in the gift shop. So there's only about 100 of them. I've never seen one, and I've seen a few. But that's something to look out for, isn't it? For me, that would be much more interesting than a flag error, which, well, you know, well, there's bound to be errors here and there on coins, and we'll come across them when we come across them. But to find one with the fourth portrait on will be very cool. There we are. So there's our 2015 Royal Navy World War I Centenary £2 coin. I'll leave it that way up. And then we have our 2019, and it's the fifth portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Jodie Clark on the obverse. And then we flip over and we have details of Sherlock Holmes and sort of bust inscription type thing of him. It's iconic because he's got his deerstalker on, he's got his pipe, and no doubt he's got his cape type coat on, cloak. And I believe the wording around the edges is I read a couple of things, and I think they are actually the titles of books. Right, okay. Of course, the Sherlock Holmes books were written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Now you're saying, Tim Bob, what's the link between these two coins? And the answer is Portsmouth. And that's obviously, there's obvious connections between the Royal Navy and Portsmouth, and it is a huge centre for historical information and visitor centres. They've got lots of stuff there. I'll tell you about that in a bit, but basically it says there's the connection between the Portsmouth. Because this is only based on the Royal Oak, it could be any naval ship that went in and out of Portsmouth Dockyard, which if you live in that area you'd see a lot, and sometimes it's a huge spectacle and sometimes you don't take any notice. They've got a couple of ships in, there might be an aircraft carrier there or something else, but hey, when you see these things all the time you take them for granted. But yes, some consider Portsmouth the home of the Royal Navy and some others might not. And then, of course, we've got Sherlock Holmes. Now, Sherlock Holmes is a fictitious character created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And Sir Arthur Conan Doyle worked as a GP, and he was actually working in Plymouth for a while, but he left there in near bankruptcy and moved to Southsea. In fact, he lived at 1 Bush Villas in Elm Grove in Southsea, and at the time, because he was near bankruptcy, he could only afford to put some furniture in 2 rooms for his patients, and obviously went from there. Now, his first book that was published about Sherlock Holmes was A Study in Scarlet, and it was published in Beaton's Christmas Annual in 1888, and that's where we first meet Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. There we are. Okay. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was involved in local sports, and he was a member of the Portsmouth Literary and Scientific Society. And even when he left Portsmouth, he carried on by donating to set up the football club and the Spiritualist Church. Okay. Now I believe there's a blue plaque there at 1 Bush Villas in Elm Grove. Elm Grove is a well-known road in Southsea. Southsea is just part of Portsmouth, basically. There we are. So that's the link with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Portsmouth, and the beginnings of another bit of history for you. Obviously, if you're a Sir Arthur Conan Doyle fan, or Royal Naval or military fan, and you're really into history, you'll know a lot more than this. And there is a lot more to learn, and it could take hours and hours of videos. But there we are. So a little bit about Portsmouth, because that's obviously the thing that links them, as we've discovered. At the moment, there is the Mary Rose Museum. There is HMS Victory, still out exposed to all weathers, but in dry dock. HMS Warrior was actually always partly in the water last time I saw it. And when I was a child, which was over 50 years ago, there was only the HMS Victory, and you could go on board and have a look round for free. The whole area was policed by the Ministry of Defence Police, and you couldn't go in the main gate without signing in, and then again you would be checked in on and off of HMS Victory, but you couldn't wander anywhere else around the dockyard. But these days, of course, it takes up the visitor centre, takes up so much of an area. There are shops and things to visit inside the dockyard, and the 3 ships and the museums as well. So plenty to see. You can still see the Royal Navy in Portsmouth, but they've sort of shifted around a little bit, and of course they don't have to employ a lot of manual work now like they used to, so things have changed slightly, the dynamics have changed. There's also a nice shopping area called Gunwharf Quays. Some nice shops in there, lovely place to sit and have your lunch outside, and you've got the Millenium Tower right in front of you when you sit there, and we have some very nice posh yachts coming in and out as well, so that's a lovely place to visit. Southsea, there is the round tower, and you can walk around on the top of the tower and have on top of the walls that join the towers up, and or you can go down on the beach, but that's another walk. But then once you get out the other side, past Southsea Fun Fair, the big wheel's no longer there, but I remember it from being a youngster, actually going on the big wheel. But you can actually walk all the way along Southsea Front, and in fact it's a very level area, and it's got a nice broad sort of Victorian style seaside frontage, because you can walk sort of 6-8 abreast down there, and there's a cycle path, and you can the kids skateboard down there and go on their electric scooters, etc. and that's without even putting a foot on the beach. So, and from Portsmouth and from Gosport and from Southsea, you can see the Isle of Wight. And that's Cowes End of the Isle of Wight, by the way. I say that because wherever we go, if we visit anywhere and we're by the sea and we can't see the Isle of Wight, we feel lost. Okay, there we are, folks. That's our little history lesson and a little bit about Portsmouth, which is the link between the Royal Navy 2015 centenary £2 coin and the Sherlock Holmes 2019 50p coin. I hope you enjoyed that little lesson, and if you've got some comments to make about this lesson, if you want to see any more, and in fact you want to suggest a couple of coins, as my last little history lesson was about rugby and Rugby World Cup and the Battle of Britain, and my goodness, that was hard work, but I think I got away with that one. Okay, in the comments below, folks, put if you'd like to see another history lesson, and if so, what would you like to see? Which coins would you like to see linked? I'll do the homework if you come up with the ideas. Okay, folks, lovely to see you as usual. Look after yourselves until the next time. Bye bye.